Hey everyone, welcome to the EduSci meeting room. I'm Jason Moore, and today I'm excited to be moderating this latest installment of our Maker Talk series, where we invite creators from across the Resonite community to share their work and take us on a deep dive into their process. Today's presentation features an amazing Resonite creator, Miss Molly, who will share her process and vision for her project, Metaverse Academia. Before we begin, just a few quick notes. You can find a seat anywhere here in the room. If you'd like to be more vertical, please choose one of the aerial platforms. That way you won't block the view of our invisible camera operators positioned throughout the space. Because yes, we are live streaming this to the educators of Resonite Twitch, and the video will be archived and on our YouTube channel available after the show. There is a clap installer here at the front, and I believe at least one of our users has an applause stick. Feel free to grab the applause stick or install the clapper so that you can show your appreciation to our speaker. If we get crowded, I may ask everyone to switch to a more performant avatar, but for the moment, I think we're fine in normal full IK avatars. You don't need to be muted during this presentation, by the way. We like hearing your laughs or your positive reactions. But if your background environment starts to get noisy, then please temporarily mute yourself. Today's presentation will last about 30 minutes with time for Q&A at the end. If you're watching on Twitch, type your questions into the chat. We can see them here. And if you're with us in person, at the end of the chat, at the end of the talk, just raise your paw, your wing, or your tentacle, and I will call on you. After the presentation, everyone is also invited to a world hop to go see the incredible work happening at Metaverse Academia. I'd just like to quickly thank everyone in the greater EduSci community here who have all worked so hard to make and share their work, answer questions in the Resonite Discord, and importantly, who worked to bring this makerspace back to life after we migrated here. A special thanks to Neosmotic, who serves as one of the founding members of the community and who made the original meeting hall and who inspires us all to keep putting these talks on. And a big thanks to our producer, Nanotopia, our director, Dave the Turner, our camera operator, Eclipse, and our server administrator, Rixx. And now I'd like to introduce our speaker, Miss Molly. Not just yet, though, Miss Molly, because I want to talk about you a little bit. Now, Miss Molly is a passionate creator, educator, and University of Washington student, deeply committed to fostering connection, creativity, and learning in the metaverse. Through her work with the Extended Reality Association at University of Washington, she has been advancing projects like the Metaverse Academia, a collaborative virtual educational initiative and hub that provides classrooms, workspaces, and resources to make the metaverse more accessible, inclusive, and empowering. She's also the creator of the Drone Sanctuary, an award-winning immersive world that won the Avatars category at the International MMC Metaverse Maker Competition 2024. This project showcases a peaceful environment where uniquely designed drone avatars explore themes of diversity, individuality, and community. It embodies her passion for using virtual spaces to bring people together and foster meaningful connections. Beyond creating worlds, avatars, and tools, she shares work through streaming and engaging with the community to showcase the potential of the metaverse for innovation, collaboration, and education. This includes contracting and working with content creators who use the metaverse to create their work, such as V Bunny Go LLC. Today, Miss Molly will be sharing her story of Metaverse Academia, which is a growing XR educational community dedicated to guiding users into the dynamic world of the metaverse. Founded in October 2023 by a University of Washington student known as Miss Molly, Metaverse Academia strives to be more than just an educational resource. It is a supportive and inclusive space for people of all ages, backgrounds, and cultures to explore and learn. As a developing community, Metaverse Academia offers a range of resources from tools and informative content to valuable contacts. Its mission is to ease the onboarding journey for newcomers while creating a safe, welcoming environment to cultivate knowledge and connection. Looking ahead, Metaverse Academia is excited to expand its offering to include community events, both official and informal classes in various subjects, and a growing array of resources for individuals, groups, and organizations alike. So please give a warm welcome to the stage, Miss Molly. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Hello. It is so nice to be here. Thank you, Jason, for the introduction. Yeah, so this is Metaverse Academia. This is a student-run initiative, educational initiative that has been going on for the last year, even longer, perhaps. We have some of our audience members who work at Metaverse Academia, and there will be some credits at the end as well. So first, I would like to show a video. It's a little trailer.
Hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so that is a trailer that we made quite a bit ago. And that is normally what is shown to any sort of presentations that we do at universities or otherwise. So now, first, I suppose I will do a small little introduction for myself as well. I'll keep it short since Jason already did a very good introduction. I am a University of Washington student. I will be getting a degree very soon in science, technology, and society. I have also gotten a few degrees in digital videography, editing, STEM-related courses. I studied as an engineer at UW Seattle for a little while. I'm a social entrepreneur. The Metaverse Academia is that. And then, of course, the MMC winner as well that Jason previously talked about. That is me. Right. So, throughout development, we held meetings, we held events, we held different sort of like builds. So at the top up there, you can see that is the campus. You can't see any of the buildings at the time. The top middle right there is a meeting that was held with the EDU Sci community in Resonite. That was talking about the community classes that are upcoming. Then we have the hub building up there. Down here, we have the mascot drones. This was during a workshop, and I believe that session had crashed and we all had to get into head and hands avatars, so I just spawned out a bunch of them. That was a fun day. This photo here is development of the campus. You can see there's not a whole lot back there. And then the last picture there is the open house. That was a lot of fun. That was a good day. All right. So now, what is Metaverse Academia exactly? Well, Metaverse Academia is a growing XR educational community dedicated to guiding users into the dynamic world of the metaverse. Now, we do strive to be more than just an educational resource. We like to be very inclusive. We like to be a safe space for people to come by, to meet other people in a very safe and friendly environment. We welcome all ages, backgrounds, cultures to explore and learn about the metaverse. So we are currently offering community classes, as well as different events such as workshops and yes. All right. It is a very community-based initiative. So what inspired the creation and the growth of Metaverse Academia in the first place? Well, so when I got into the metaverse, I discovered this incredible array of creative and technical worlds and communities. But I found that there was little to no information on how to actually find and connect with these communities and projects without an extensive amount of research or effort. As years went on, I also noticed that there were more and more studies and journals and research being done on the effects of the metaverse on humanity in general, on our mental health, on our physical health, on our culture. And a lot of these things can be good, some of them can be bad, and it definitely needs to be taken care of. Attention needs to be brought to it. So as a University of Washington student, my first instinct was to reach out to the Extended Reality Association, UW, which is a student-run club for VR, XR, AR. And from there, we created Metaverse Academia. So the goals. We have achieved a few goals so far, and we are still constantly working on these goals. They are never really finished. So building a campus on a social VR platform, that was one of our first goals. We have done this on Resonite specifically, and the point of this is to also be a hub for community tools and resources. Links out to different groups and discords and all of that kind of stuff. So one thing that has been a big struggle for VR users in the educational community who also want to be social with other people in the educational community, one of the biggest things has been finding a balance between a university level professionality, similar to like an IRL type of classroom or university, and then also the chaos, the VR social gaming sort of chaos. Everyone's spawning something out, and it's just everything everywhere and very overwhelming. So both of these things can deter the other group. And so finding a nice balance between those has been especially difficult, but achievable. And we are still, working on that, of course. So making connections, meet and greets, that is another thing that we've been trying to do. Connecting users, connecting projects, groups, professionals via events, community classes of various subjects. Some future goals will be to register and run the Metaverse Academia as a nonprofit organization. This takes time. We are still working on this. We are also going to expand Metaverse Academia to other VR platforms. This will allow a bridge between them, between the platforms, I mean. The next campus that will be developed is the VR Chat campus. And then we will go on to the other platforms as well, such as Rec Room, Roblox, CVR, perhaps Engage. And then another goal for the future is to teach in-person classes at universities and public schools, specifically our planned core class, which is Navigating the Metaverse 101, which I will talk a little bit more about later. So there is a subject that is not really pressed upon as much as it really should be, especially recently. So part of our goal is to educate parents to keep their children safe. And this will ensure safety, including mental and physical safety, for the children of today who are getting headsets for Christmas from their parents, and their parents have no idea what they're getting their kids into. These free social VR games is a whole different mode of reality, as most of you know, I'm sure. So there are some dangers that the parents need to be aware of. Some of this is, let's see, I'll give a few examples. One, children wearing and or seeing extremely sexualized and demented avatars or activities, or easily falling into traps and grooming from those who make and or use social VR accounts in order to prey on children. Also, unregulated behavior and language from these 5 to 15-year-olds, such as screaming slurs in public lobbies. So in order to prevent all of this stuff from happening, we need to educate the parents to educate their kids. This is a screenshot from a YouTube video that CNA Insider released. It is called "I Posed as a 13-year-old in a Metaverse chat room. Here's what happened." Spoiler alert, it wasn't great. All right, so now the journals that I was talking about, the research and the publications, these are addressing mental health benefits and risks for humans in social VR. There are some examples of this in the galleries downstairs that you may take a look at afterwards. But there have been numerous studies, but not enough. There needs to be much more research done, and this needs to be taught to the public because so much of it has not even really surfaced yet. Some are negative, some are positive, but both must be brought to light. Another subject I would like to briefly mention is something called the big fish, little pond effect. Now, this is something that happens quite frequently in academia. If you are, say, a student who excels at a very specific subject, or perhaps excelling at almost everything that that small school that they're a part of has to offer. Now, this student, they will feel like they can do anything. They are very intelligent, they're very confident. This is normally very good. However, I would like you all to think of the little pond, instead of being a little school, think of it as a social VR platform. So in this diagram that I created, in order to explain this better, so if you take the red circle as being a small social VR platform, let's say Chill Out VR, and then the large blue circle is the metaverse as a whole, because we need to keep in mind that these smaller social VR platforms are going to connect. The metaverse, just like the internet, is going to have a lot of connections. We're going to have links that go to places. We're going to have portals where you can click on it and it instantly brings you to the other platform. That kind of thing. So these gaps between these ponds are going to be bridged. And the big fish that run these little ponds will not be as prepared, I feel, as we should be. So teaching about expanding the mindset of the metaverse, it's not just chill out VR. That's not the entire world in the metaverse. The metaverse is so expansive. And as individuals, we kind of get caught up in the small pond. So that is something that will be discussed a little bit during the Navigating the Metaverse 101 class. So I'd also like to talk about some upcoming things we have going. Or actually, the current things we have going. So the community classes, workshops, and events. Now, currently, we do hold a workshop every single Wednesday. This is the Wednesday workshop. It is at 3 p.m. EST or 12 p.m. PST. I am on the West Coast. And the faculty at Metaverse Academia hosts this workshop. It is supposed to be a casual workshop, inviting all sorts of users with all sorts of different skills to come by and sort of take a look at the open-ended question that we have posted. Now, sometimes this open-ended question will be like, can you make a rainbow? Or can you make a ball fly? I believe that was that one up there. You can see Zhao on the left, his head is covered by the ball. And then how to make a rainbow, we have on the right. You can see Banana Bread holding his rainbow gun, which is very cool. Ask him about that if you ever see him. Mm-hmm. So those are hosted every Wednesday. Now, they are technically a workshop. However, they are also meant to be a meet and greet. So even if you show up and you don't really want to make anything, you can still talk to other creators and other people who are there, even other new users that show up. You can talk to them, relate to them. A huge part of Metaverse Academia is connecting people. It's a community effort. So another thing that we've been doing recently, and we'll continue doing, is having impromptu guest lectures, workshops, meetings, classes, that kind of thing. And recently, and Zyzyl, I see you over there, we did have a switcher cam workshop, and we are actually using the switcher cams today for our streaming and for making YouTube videos and stuff later. So if any of you want to ask about the switcher cam, we do have Zyzyl here. Yes. And we also support other classrooms or other, initiatives that are meant to be teaching and stuff like that. So we have a master there. He runs his Protoflux classroom, and we have partnered with him on that. So, upcoming classes and events. Now, these are going to be really fun. So, the planned ones so far, we have computer science and structured programming. This is taught by Charlie Son from Finite and Open Studio. She is a Resonite citizen, so to say, and she has been here in the platform for a long time, and she has already built up this amazing array of tools and things that will help teach people programming languages. And this is not necessarily Protoflux either. These are classic programming languages that you can type out on your console, except she's teaching it in the metaverse. The other class that is coming up pretty soon is Navigating the Metaverse 101, and that will be the core class for Metaverse Academia that I will be teaching. And this is a class on navigating the metaverse in terms of how to keep yourself safe, how to navigate, respect people, and what to do in certain circumstances when you're uncomfortable. Now, navigating the metaverse is not only that, there are lots of other little details that need to be gone over. So it's not necessarily like teaching about how to use a specific platform. It is more about using the metaverse as a whole. So we also have some other teachers that are very prepared and very excited to teach some classes in Metaverse or under Metaverse Academia, so to say. I should be very clear that the community classes that are going on, these are their classes. These teachers that you see here, they're their classes. Metaverse Academia is helping them. We are here to take in teachers who want to teach in the metaverse in general and helping them technically in order for them to be able to teach their class to an audience. Because a lot of people don't have the technical skills, or they're brand new to the metaverse, but they still want to, utilize the metaverse. Yeah, and so in the wings, we have neuroscience and STEM in VR. Now, this is going to be taught by a newer metaverse user named Dr. Cy Cortex. He is from a major and publicly funded Canadian university, and he is bringing in his lab students in VR equipment and is going to be teaching classes to them. And we will also be, being able to bring in other people from the metaverse in order to listen in on his lectures. Another person who is preparing for this is Miranda Meerkat, and she works on the MetaMovie. She is a professional actor and voiceover artist. She will be teaching basic voiceover techniques. And we have a few other users as well who have shown a lot of interest in this. So we are very excited to get started with those in mid to late January. So now the credits. So there are actually, a good amount of people and members of the EduSci community, Resonite community, and several communities just, in universities, and also, my family has been very supportive as well. And I want to give special thanks to the people up here. So, there's me, me, and Daniel Taka, the XRA Club officer, advisor, as well as he has done a lot of planning and building. He has been with us throughout the entire building. He is also right there. Hi, Taka. And then Resonite. Yes. Resonite is another XRA Club officer. He has he's supported as well from the very beginning, and he was the one who heard about my idea for this initiative and then brought me into the XRA in order to make a presentation on it, and that's kind of how it all got started. And then we have Dr. Tangerine. He is one of my closest advisors, also one of my best friends. He is also here, sitting right over there. Hi, Doctor. Hello. And he has done so much building. He has been along with us like the whole time. He built a lot of the MAUI, the workspace system. He has done a lot of brainstorming with us, and so much more, honestly. And the same could be said for official Zhao, as he is. If anybody knows Zhao, you know that he is imperative to the community. He is absolutely wonderful. He is an excellent builder. He is an excellent friend as well. Yellow Dog Man Studios, of course, for creating the Resonite platform. Thank you to Fruxius and the team as well. Yes. And then, of course, there's so many others who have helped along the way. So this is a QR code to the link tree for Metaverse Academia. And from here, you can find the link to the Discord server, which is also, if you click on the logo right over there on the rock, that will also invite you to the server. And then also our YouTube channel, Patreon, and Twitch. And then thank you as well, finally, for the educators of Resonite for helping to put this together and for hosting this. Thank you to Jason. Yeah, and I suppose that is the presentation. I can take questions or anything else.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, folks. So now it's time for a little bit of Q&A. So if you'd like, just go ahead and raise your hand, and I will call on you, or your tentacle, or your wing, or whatever you can raise. I think I see a question over there, but I can't see your username. But you're in. Was that you? In the default avatar? No, you're shaking. No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Okay, looking at our Twitch, I don't think we have any questions from our Twitch. Am I missing anybody? Anybody? No? Okay, I guess it must have been a very clear presentation.
Feel free to ask any questions in the Discord as well.
So
maybe I can
there we
start
go.
if I can.
Yes, there we go. Okay, great. Neosmotic.
Hey, this is Neosmotic talking here. Thank you very much, Ms. Molly, for this presentation and introducing to us your vision for Metaverse Academia. I am an academic. I have very little time, like many teachers, in fact. One of the difficulty to bring teachers, professional teachers and academic people in VR is a constraint of time. They don't have the time to learn and build. So having access to resources that allow them to quickly, engage and teach in VR is for all those people extremely critical. It's also critical for them to have access to teaching resources. We need to really start to think about content. The more content we're going to have, the more people we will attract to this. One of the difficulty, of course, we have as professionals is safety, as you mentioned, and creating a safe space is a very complex issue. You were talking about, okay, potentially we are going to bring underage kids in our classroom or some classroom, and the issue about avatar and the level of sexiness. And it's interesting that you mentioned that because your avatar is quite sexy. As a parent, I will feel a little bit uneasy, to see, this beautiful, sexy teacher, taking care of my kids. So when we talk about creating a safe place, it's very easy to say, and it's very hard to deliver.
Yes,
and it's even more difficult when we talk about culture. If I am a Muslim teacher, I'm going to have difficulty perhaps to address Jason, whose avatar is a dog. In a Muslim culture, well, dogs are not, something that you want to interact with. So there is a lot of things to think about, and in your talk you cover a lot of things, but each of those things will take a lot of time, to get it right. And we need to put, as a community, a lot of thinking, deep thinking about all those issues, because VR is very exciting, but we can create toxic environment in VR, more toxic than what exists in the internet. So opening a teaching space, and letting other people, letting other people come in. This is to me something that I will not do. If I have to teach a class, I will lock it to my own student. I will not let anyone moving in. But that's my personal opinion.
Yes,
So,
and we are
my
fully prepared to
message
do that as well.
Yeah, my message to you and us is that we need really to think very deeply on how on the tool we provide and how we engage the broader community and help them to have access to VR resources.
Yes, I absolutely agree, and that is something that is constantly being worked on in the community and will honestly always be worked on way into the future. And it is definitely all of those topics are going to be discussed in specifically planned discussions with those topics as the title. Dr. Sai?
Yeah,
Cortex?
yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, will you please go into shout, Dr. Sai? Your shout, the shout is the yellow next to the green on the right.
Yeah, how's that now?
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, I think also, I appreciated your comments, Neosmotic, and I think it hits, you touched on the big fish in the small pond idea, and that we need to be prepared to be a big fish in a big pond. But actually, I think my initial sort of impressions of the Resonite as a platform is that actually for the types of courses that I might want to teach, actually it can't scale very well to the number of participants at this moment. But also, I think, already some of the events that I participated in, I think, Neosmotic really kind of hits the nail on the head. I think, when you have an academic meeting, there's sort of a certain understanding that there are repercussions to the things that you're doing potentially for your reputation. You're in a group of people who know each other. Whereas in the metaverse, it seems like, I don't know, I get the impression that there are many people who are sort of wandering around that sort of see it much more like a game where you can kill anyone. There are no repercussions. So you can do whatever the heck you want. And that's the fun of it. And, what's going on?
Just a little bit of lag, I think. Someone loaded in.
Yeah, and so I think, to me, on the one hand, I think I'm interested to see. I think it's, on the one hand, it's think deeply, but I think it's also, interact and work. And I think I'm feeling very positive about initiatives like Metaverse Academia, because I think we can start to, the more and more events like this we all participate in, the larger the community will grow, and we'll start to figure this stuff out. But I think the key problems are around, like, how do we get people there in scalable events that have people in there for the right reasons. I think we'll figure it out, but I think it's interesting.
Yes, it is a very interesting and very powerful topic. Some of our solutions for that is to have hidden and or private worlds that, that is going to be the classroom itself, and only very specific people can sign up, or there will be like sign up sheets, and then only those specific people will be able to be invited. Or even we'll have a portal on campus that goes to a classroom. So that is an extra step that people will have to go through. So they will actually really want to be in that class to listen to that lecture. We'll have door greeters, that kind of thing. And now, it is definitely a subject that is going to be thought about, talked about, and managed very carefully and a lot. Yeah.
I think also, as we're, just a last thought on that is, as educators, if we're talking about something like neuroscience, for example, people could come with very diverse backgrounds, and that makes it challenging to give everyone what they want. So, like in a university, we have course prerequisites, we have admission requirements, and these types of things to make sure that people are all kind of the same level, so you can cover sort of the topics. So I think we'll probably need to, on the one hand, there'll be like, academic style courses that are, they will need to have, participants will need to be vetted, and they will need to have like some sort of background, and we'll start from that. But I think there's also a value in having sort of, very much for lay folks, open discussions that are maybe a little more fun and start from the basics.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing community events that are a lot more casual and social as well. Yeah.
Yeah, great question. Anybody else have a question? Good, very good dialogue going here. Zyzyl, yes.
Hey, nice talk. Thanks. I was wondering about funding. So presumably, I'm guessing the courses that people are going to be presenting, the ones you mentioned.
You
don't hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, okay. How about now, Neosmotic? I'll take that as a no.
I hear you loud and clear from here.
I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you in the stream too.
You do? Okay, well, I'll try again. So I'm guessing the talks that you mentioned, the teachers and the people involved are probably not going to be paid. Is that correct?
Correct. This is completely volunteer run, community run, for sure. Yeah, that is a very good question. Thank you. Yeah,
do you have any plans in the long term for like developing kind of a treasury or like I don't know, cash flow funds for the program, or are you just planning to remain on voluntary contributions for the foreseeable future?
The second one for the foreseeable future. Yeah, we're going to remain volunteer. We do have a Patreon. Fortunately, we do have some people on Patreon who are donating, and that gives us enough to pay for the Resonite Patreon that we need in order to host our head lists and have the group folder and all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah.
Could I maybe comment on that? I mean, ZYL. I mean, I've really appreciated a lot of the talks that I've seen, and I think you have a certain level of skill in giving VR talks that I would aspire to learn. I mean, I guess you're asking the question from the point of view of like, I'm a university professor, so I have like, I get sort of have a stable position that allows me to do this type of stuff. But maybe not everyone in the community has that. But one thing I would say is that, I've participated in the organization of academic events, and we can go and get sponsors. And you may consider doing the same thing, getting sponsors so that you can pay for particular keynote talks here and there. So maybe you can give for, if you get a sponsor here and there of $1,000 or something, you could offer honoraria occasionally for particular types of speakers. I think it's worth considering. Definitely that mechanism is present in academia. So, we could ask, for example, Meta or Microsoft or something to provide a little bit of money here and there to offer honoraria to speakers. I think it's worth looking into.
Yes, absolutely. You're correct about that. We are going to be looking into it, and we'll be following the example of Creator Jam as well, because we are still looking into becoming a non-profit. And Creator Jam does run the international MMC every year. So yeah, no, that is a very good point. We do plan to do that.
Neosmotic, I think, has another question, and then I can't tell if there's somebody behind Neosmotic that was waving. You're so far away, I can't see you. Yes. Neosmotic, will you ask the person next to you, behind you, if they have a question as well? I can't quite tell. See that one? Maybe this.
I think it's part of their avatar.
No.
Okay. Anyway, Neosmotic, go ahead.
There's no one there, Jason.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a very, very important point. In particular, I've always, that vivid memory of that transition from Neos to Resonite that was based on an issue of IP, and nobody knew exactly who on what. I understand that Metaverse Academia is owned by Miss Modi. However, we can still see University of Washington in the background, and I'm not too sure how much ownership do they have. For me, as an academic, that could be an issue. If I want to build something and keep ownership of that, that's going to be perhaps an issue. I've solved that issue by putting everything I build in a very open license. So, but I can see here, we need to have clarity, in particular for volunteers who are building things. And all those volunteers need to have clarity about who owns what. And in particular, if we bring our student, building things, in my university, any student who builds things will share the IP with the university. So there was this difficult issue here also to always keep in mind. As an academic, I saw this very easily by saying, okay, whatever I build here in Resonite is can be cloned and used in any way, even for commercial operation. So in particular, I've created a dome, I've created a stage on which you are speaking, I created a lecture. But all those elements, are completely, clonable and open. And
so
and we
is
need to think
Metaverse Academia. Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, now that you've brought that up, actually, the Metaverse Academia campus is completely public. It is published, and you can absolutely host your own and then edit it and then publish that. It is absolutely public, 100%. And Metaverse Academia, I did found it and I do run it, but it belongs to the community. It is volunteer and community run specifically. We are definitely, to be clear, anything that has to do with like the finances, all of that kind of stuff, that is still being figured out. For now, this is a student run. And by student, I mean the Extended Reality Association from UW is a student run club at UW. So specifically, us as individual students have built this up with part of the Metaverse community in order to teach the Metaverse community. When it comes to professionalism, then we do hold professionalism. Those are very specific questions that are very good to ask, and I would like to answer them. It takes a lot of research and thought to answer those. So I would really appreciate if you could actually write out these questions in the questions forum, which is actually in the Discord server, which I know that you're a part of. That would be very helpful for us. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I saw a question from, I think I saw a question from Emergency Temporal Shift. Was that correct? Sorry, Emergency, I mistook you. I can't see that far. So please put yourself in shout and please ask your question.
Wait, hold on. Which one is? Yeah.
Shout is yellow.
Okay.
It's right to yeah, perfect.
That's like, wait, yellow or blue?
You sound great. Yep.
So what I was wondering is, I recently watched a video on KDE and how they just got an overwhelming amount of money for asking for donations recently. First of all, advertising donations really can help a project, especially if you do it, respectfully and without spamming people. But my main question is, are there any plans if you receive, enough money to petition and ask things like Resonite or VR chat to add features that add to the university experience or the educational experience, in order to help promote the cause of education in VR?
That is a big if. That also has to do with money, which there is a shortage of these days. So, there's a lot that we can do with funding, but getting the funding is something still in development for sure.
With all you've done, I see no problem with it in the future. It's all going to be fine, I'm sure. Rocky, but fine.
Oh yeah, no, this is an initiative that is definitely going to be having a lot of up and downs, but that's going to happen with anything like this, and we're prepared to tackle it.
What's really nice is that, of course, as many of you know, this platform really has a rich history in education. It was one of Rixx's early kind of conceptions of what he wanted to make with his work. Was directly tied as an educational platform. So we know that the development team of Resonite is very much interested in education in general, and so I think we can we can kind of take a good guess that they're probably watching everything that Miss Molly is doing with a big smile on their face. And we know that Rixx is always looking at ways that he can improve the platform in general. And I think you're right. emergency temporal shift that maybe they'll take a peek at what's going on over here, and perhaps if Miss Molly or anyone in the edu community has thoughts about what Resonite could do to improve the types of things that we want to do, well, that's what the GitHub is for, and that's what we all do. We kind of rally behind those GitHub requests. We all get in there, we log in, and we give it a thumbs up to kind of elevate that request in the devs' eyes. So I think anybody in the edu community, if you have a really specific thing that you would like to see the Resonite devs add or fix or look at, I would definitely suggest making it a GitHub request and then sharing your request, letting everybody know in the various edu communities that are here in Resonite. Let's all know that you've added that request, and we'll go on in there and we'll upvote it, and that'll kind of raise that a little bit. So I think education in Resonite, I think, has a very, very bright future, and obviously it has a great past. We've been a strong edu community now for many, many years. So yeah, I think the future is quite bright. Okay, I think we have time for one more question before we wrap this up. Oh, I think a follow-up from Emergency.
Yeah, I was wondering, because, especially for small donations, Patreon can take a large cut of the donation. Are there any alternate forms of monetary providing that is currently set up?
Not currently, although it would be lovely if you could also get into the server and mention something like that so we could tackle that as well. That's a good point. Yeah. Thank you.
I've heard rumors of Resonite itself kind of embracing Stripe as opposed to Patreon.
Yeah.
So that might be something to think about, or maybe ask somebody from the Resonite dev team, or maybe drop in on one of their open office hours and see. Maybe they must know something that we don't. Good question. Good point there. Okay, any more questions? All right, can we please give Miss Molly another big round of applause as we wind this down? This concludes part one of today's presentation. You can watch and share this video once it's edited and uploaded on both the Metaverse Academia YouTube channel and the Educators of Resonite YouTube channel. To learn more and or get involved with Metaverse Academia, as you saw, please join their Discord server. Keep an eye out for their upcoming events featuring in-depth classes hosted by their team and educators passionate about teaching in VR, or attend one of their casual Wednesday workshops on the Resonite campus to learn, create, and connect. These sessions are just the beginning, with ongoing foundational development and opportunities to build lasting connections in the metaverse. As you saw, they have a link tree that you can visit and that QR code. So that is a great way for you to learn more, get in touch, and get involved. Now, part two of this presentation will happen in just a few minutes. Miss Molly will give a tour of the Metaverse Academia campus to everyone and anyone who would like to join.
Shout, actually. So we are going to do a campus tour today. Thank you all for coming. Now, there's a couple of things that I would like you guys to know about the tour, or about the campus. First of all, in your context menu, in your wheel menu here, in world settings, there is an avatar culling menu. In this menu, you can click on avatar range and adjust how people, or when people disappear for you, how far away they are. Because a lot of times in Resonite, full IK avatars and complicated avatars can often bring the performance of the game down. And so culling out those avatars locally is usually a good thing to do. All right, so I'll start by going over the spawn area. This is pretty basic stuff. We have some of the campus rules here. We have a few notes about campus here, such as AFK cake is normally on for 1 hour. There's also some notes like save frequently. So this is very interesting. We have a potato button. We call it the potato button. And if you are lagging extra hard and you don't really want all this extra foliage, you can click that and it disappears for you. So this teleport button, this toggles on and off the ability to click on the tags above the buildings and teleport there instantly. That is something that you can do right now. Some people don't like to have that, so if you don't want that for yourself, you can press that button. And then the top one here, if you click and hold this up here, then locally, you can look around and you will see that you can locate a user anywhere in the world by holding this down. Yeah.
Ooh.
All right. We have a, just sort of a welcome sign here with a few little explanations of each building. And if your microphone is not working and you'd still like to be able to communicate, we have these cloud spawners for the Resonite mute helpers. Now, these cloud spawners you are going to see all over the campus. And the way that you spawn these items out is click the little green box that is to the left of them. Yes, you'll have to use your laser. All right. So now, I suppose first we will start with the classrooms. It is a very simple area, but an important one. All right. So a lot of the buildings around here will be mostly, if not fully, culled out until you get closer to them. Now, normally, like the larger buildings, you will be able to see from afar in some form or fashion. For example, the safe space over there, you can see the hub building, you can see. Now, this area is usually pretty empty. However, there are options for people who want to come here, like host their own campus, come here and use it to teach anything that they want. So here are some community classrooms, and if you wanted to use any of these classrooms, you would just have to click on it and then start a custom session. These are called world orbs, by the way, if you're new to Resonite. Now, we do have some default classrooms, or a default classroom, I should say, which is this. There's also a work box, which is a little bit more complicated, but it is sort of an isolated area for yourself if you're working on something. Now, if you guys will join me over here, I can show you just a little bit about this classroom. So it is a very simple classroom and customizable. It is public, just like the rest of campus with all the resources. These seats you can add more. They are anchors, so you can anchor yourself to there and turn inside of the anchor as well. You can change the color if you would like. There's a lot of different things that you can do. You can change the name, and then the tag above this also has a teleporter, just like the rest of the buildings. So if you decide to have like multiple classrooms on campus, like this, then a student will be able to easily locate it and teleport to it. Yes, Doctor helped me a lot with this classroom. Thank you so much, Doctor. All right. So that is the basic classroom. And the rest of the workspace is pretty blank. Normally, this is the space in which we hold our Wednesday workshops, which are a lot more casual. And you will normally come in here and see nothing there because we don't use those. And instead, we have an open-ended question that is pasted onto the sky, just in a very large sort of text. So that is the Wednesday workshop. And absolutely feel free to come to those. Those are very fun. Very much meet and greet, very much, new to Resonite, trying out new things, learning the tools, all that kind of stuff. So the next thing I'll show you guys is the hub. There's a little camera spot out here. Actually, why don't we take a little shot here, so I can sort of show what's going on. Yeah, everyone get in close. You should be able to see yourself up there. Excellent. Everyone get in here, and then you just press that, and it starts the timed thing. Nice dab, Velosa. Love it. All right, and then you just have this picture here, and save that to your computer. You can save it to your inventory, all of that. And you can either close the camera by doing this, or if you walk away from it for long enough, it will just go back to the default. Yes. All right. So we're going to start on the first floor, which is the lobby down here. There is an elevator to get up to other floors as well, but there's also a teleport inside. So come on in here, make sure that you are in walk or fly. If you're in no clip, you won't be able to see anything in here. All right, so we'll start over here. Now this is the community advertisement area. So we have this lovely column here that displays posters of different projects, people, communities. This advertisement kiosk itself was made by our friend Yar, and he runs the Cadets, which is a fairly large and very friendly group in Resonite. A lot of like sort of newer users gravitate towards the Cadets because they are very friendly, very good at teaching, all of that kind of stuff. And so you can see here, you know, we do have some groups that we're advertising here, and there are also Discord links to those groups that we'd like to put there as well. This here is our Metaverse Academia player. It's pretty rudimentary right now. However, you can click on any one of these, and it will load in the YouTube video that it links to. So this is Navy and his TARDIS. He does a show on YouTube where he wanders around to different Resonite worlds in his TARDIS and records them and puts them on YouTube. It's very cool. He actually did one about campus today, which was very, very fun to see. All right, so we do have some basic tutorial stuff right there for new users. I need to update that ASL poster to the newest one. We do have the full credits here for the campus and some different links for people who want to give us feedback or find us in other platforms. This is our partners shelf. There are, I think, 2 or 3 other partners that we are still putting together their shelf, and so there's going to be another one next to this very soon. Got the A Masters things up there. He's been supporting us from the beginning. We have the MetaMovie things here. Creator Jam, of course, and then the Cadets as well, down here. And then these are just going to be posters for upcoming events. You know, I'm going to be taking this one down soon, since it just happened. All right. Now, this teleporter, which was made by Dr. Tangerine, thank you, Doctor, you can teleport either by clicking the up or down or on the floor itself. So let's go to Community Tools. Excellent, excellent. All right, so now these are all different cloud spawners. And these are, well, community tools. We do have some Resonite Essential tools right over here. So that is all of those, but otherwise, all of these tools that you see were made by members of the community, or they are perhaps customized versions of the Resonite Essentials, stuff like that. On the fun stuff, you will see a lot of Gearbell's things. Gearbell has a very fun toy shop. Yeah, so feel free to come here whenever. It is, again, a public world, and you just click one of the green squares next to one, and it will spawn out for you. All right, and there's a lot to do here. Somebody once told me it is I think someone with ADHD's dream or something like that, and I totally agree. All right, the next floor is World Orbs.
That was random.
Yeah, someone told me that, and it was great. I was like, yes, absolutely.
The tool place?
Yes, the tools specifically. So this is the World Orbs world, and if you get close to the walls or sideways tables, you can see the World Orbs come into view. Now, with the same with the classrooms, you can click on one of these and then start a custom session. If you just start a session, usually it will open it up to the public, so just be aware of that. So we got games, creative, all sorts of avatar worlds as well. And then this international world is pretty much I mean, we do have the Unifesta 2024 over there, which was run by the Japanese community. But this world is filled, as you can see from this photo, with international worlds that were made by the Japanese or Korean community.
Literally someone take every world and Resonite and place it in the world.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of worlds in there. So experiences. Now this specifically is if you want to experience VR for what VR is capable of, especially in Resonite, then I recommend going to one of these. Recently, we just went to the Black Mesa train ride by the science team, And that was an incredible experience. We have the Alien Rescue public release here by the MetaMovie project, and that place is beautiful. I've taken pictures there. Wow. Anyway, so those are the world orbs, and you can come here at any time and, world hop. Public folders is next one. So we have several different types of public folders here. Here are avatar folders. So these, you can save these by grabbing any of these and saving it to your inventory via your context menu. And these are just filled with public avatars. This is the user folders wall. So if there is a user folder with a lot of really nice community tools or avatars or just anything really that you can use in Resonite, they would be here. And there is a form in the lobby as well if you would like to add your own resources to any part of the hub, really. Yes. This is for groups, assets, and tools. So you'll see the Metaverse Academia public here, as well as the Creator Jam public, so on and so forth. And we also have the Multicam Switcher by Zyzyl, which we used for the presentation just now. Yes. These are very unique public folders. Some people like to put their public folders on physical objects. So you can see this fun one here by Baxter. It's like a playing card. And this one is by Zhao, our friendly neighborhood Zhao. And this one is A-Masters.
I think there's a mod for that.
Hello, Yuki. Hey. Oh, tell me about that later. I would love to do
just a
that.
component, I think.
Oh yeah, it's a little light cube.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Yes. Yeah. If any of you know any unique public folders that I could put up there, please do let me know. The last floor is the look at, or look out, not look at. Sorry. Used to look at components. So this is sort of a blank slate. This is normally where we will hold meetings or, any sort of like workshop or meetup or anything that your heart desires to use it for, right? Eventually we'll probably have furniture cloud spawners up here so you can decorate it and stuff like that. All right, so the next place we're going to go is the Avatar Station. That one's very fun, very interesting. So go ahead and click on the tag.
Avatar power up.
I don't know. It usually only does that when it like saves. Weird. All right. So at first it seems kind of blank. However, things are culled out as usual in the campus, which is why there's that big avatars here sign. So in here, you have a lot of both pre-made options that you can spawn out from people's public folders. There's also a lot of public folders in here. Everything that is in the hub is also in the public folder that we have. We also have some tutorials right here in the same fashion as the hub lobby. So you just click on those to watch the YouTube videos. We have outgoing world orbs to other avatar hubs here and there. We even have links that go out to websites that allow you to make your own customized avatars very simply. We have a mirror, so you can check out your avatar. When did you put this on me, Doctor? Here, I'll keep it.
As soon as it was possible to do so.
Of course. All right. This is the mascot of Metaverse Academia, the Mina drone. It's a public avatar that I made quite a while ago. But it's a very optimized head and hands avatar, and I recommend using it, taking one. You can just click this and then save it to your own inventory. These are some outgoing links and public folders to these customizable head and hands avatars. You'll see a lot of people in the Neoroid and NeoFur avatars around. More cloud spawners for tools for, setting up avatars and things. Yes. Guidelines and tips, of course. I believe this one was put together by Gearbell. There is, on the other side, you can actually change the language. So here's Korean, English, Japanese. That's very nice. We have a lot of different cultures that come into Resonite. Not only, Japanese, Korean, American. We have a lot of Europeans in here as well. French, German, you name it. All right.
Yeah, we've also been getting some Russians as well.
Ooh, very cool.
Actually,
Very cool.
I have a lot of Russian in this game now.
Let's go over to the safe space now. Well, it's meant to feel safe. And that's why it's like rounded, and you walk in here, it's like you're sort of entering a different world. And it kind of takes you away from any sort of stress outside of it. So we have some nice, fun, sort of casual things in here, including brushes. These are very fun. You can create diamonds with your own hand. Very cool, very cool. We have some camera things in here and a photo wall in case you take a lot of pictures. And then for people who like to mirror dwell, so to say, like in VR chat, we have a nice big long mirror right here. You might have to sort of hover right above the mirror in order to find the... I don't know why it does that. It's okay. Rendering is funny. Anyway.
I think it's only wide locally.
Yes, it is a local mirror. Yeah,
So
you can change it in the
wide.
menu as well if you don't want it to be wide. It is basically just a reskinned version of the regular Resonite mirror.
Makes
Yes.
sense.
Yes. Indeed. And we have silly little lights, make things look soft. That's pretty much all there is to the safe space. It's meant to be fairly simple. Alright, so there's 2 places left for the tour. Lecture hall, which is past the avatar station that way. Well, it's hard to click on. Oh man. We can walk, maybe. Take a look at this little big garden gazebo pond thing, which is just sort of a nice spot by the safe space, I suppose. Alright, there we go. In your world settings, and you will be able to teleport to any building using that as well. So anyone who isn't over here yet, the lecture hall is where we're at. All right. So we recently did hold a workshop for the Switcher Cam where Zyzyl was up here teaching about his camera. And it is often recommended to for the teachers to sort of, use the scaling ability in Resonite to scale themselves up, and then they can talk to any of the audience in the bleachers. There are a couple of interesting settings. One of them is you can make the whiteboard opaque. It also acts as a raycast blocker. So in case there are people in the hex grid space that are, maybe working on some things, and you don't want them to accidentally grab stuff that you're trying to teach about. You can adjust this whiteboard as well. This whiteboard was made, again, by Dr. Tangerine. Thank you, Doctor. Let's see, that I believe there's also a roof that you can turn on. Yeah, it's a fairly simple setup, but it does work. There's another raycast blocker as well, I believe right here to prevent grabbing. Yes. And the last spot, before I let you all do whatever, is the hex grid space. Let's go over there. So the explanation behind the hex grid space is that there are a lot of people who find comfort in an empty grid space. And it's not just to do with optimization, although usually it is. But we do have a lot of users who will open up a grid space and they will do all of their work in there. Having a place with a lot of visuals can get kind of messy. And, you know, if somebody feels uncomfortable in a very specific spot, they can always come to wherever it is was comfortable for them. And I do find personally a lot of comfort in the grid space. So I decided to add that. And I also needed to fill up a quarter of the campus. So
Grid space and it's not a hex grid.
I have gotten that comment a lot, Yuki. Trust me. I mean, the entire shape is a hexagon, but it is still like a grid. I decided to keep it as the grid because of the reason of it being a measurement tool, right? Like that's why the grid space is the way it is. Because I'm not sure exactly the measurements. I think it might be like 1 meter per square. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so I wanted to keep the grid for that reason. And also because it is very funny to hear that comment over and over again. It's very fun. Yeah, I believe that is the entire campus. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming to the tour, everyone. This has been great.
Can you get a grid of completely tessellated circles?
I'm gonna shut it down.
I'm gonna say goodbye to the Twitch stream too. Bye, Twitch. Bye. Thank you for watching.